Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new series. This is, of course, Football Manager 2019 with Zebu Nation. I took a little time off. I took a little break from Football Manager, but we're back. We're back with a vengeance. The game has been released. It's out of beta and all that stuff. So let's get to it. I'm going to start a new save right before your very eyes. Let's get to it. Go for a career, and of course, we're going to go for a career in Major League Soccer because that's what I do. I don't go around the world. I don't play other leagues. I mean, I have before, but I always end up back here in MLS, so I might as well, in honor of the MLS playoffs going on right now, later today, there's going to be a bunch of games in the playoffs. I think it's the conference semifinals, but anyway, we're going to get started here with this 2018 season, and we got a lot of choices here. They've improved it a little bit. They've got all the teams now in one list instead of having to choose between Eastern Conference and Western Conference as they had to in FM19. So now you actually have your choice of all 24 teams. And it's 24 because they've added a new team. Last year, they added LAFC. Of course, we went through that famous run with LAFC as the expansion team. And this year, they've added another expansion team, FC Cincinnati. And that's who we're going to take. We're going to keep the tradition going here of taking the expansion clubs. And that's what we're going to do. FC Cincinnati. And take a look at the advanced setup here and see exactly what leagues we're going to load and all that stuff. Like I said, we're going to go through the whole thing. There might be some cuts in the video here and there, but for now, we're going to just run straight through. We're going to do it live, as they say. Okay, so Addremove leagues. If you've never seen me do a league setup before, there are certain leagues that I load for a USA run. First of all, you need South America. Load as many South American teams as your computer can handle. And honestly, this is something that might go against how you normally play FM, but if you have to make the choice between loading European leagues or loading South American leagues, load the South American leagues and unload the European leagues. Not necessary for MLS. Now we can go into all the reasons why, but I'm telling you, the players in Europe, they're too expensive. They don't want to come to the United States. You can only get them when they're old and broken down, and it's not good value to go to Europe to get players. The best value is go to South America to get players. Now the other leagues that I like to load are these sort of Nordic leagues and some of the other leagues around the world that have the same transfer windows as the United States. So we're talking about, Finland, Iceland is a big one for sure. Russia has some overlap. I like loading China and Australia as well, just for some fun. Sweden, they've got a similar transfer window. Who else are we looking at here? Norway, of course. Maybe their league isn't quite good enough, but you can definitely send some players over there to get some training and things like that. And then the other league I like to load Scotland, because their level of play is very similar to MLS level of play, so you can get a lot of similar players and you can make some trades and deals with Scottish teams. So there we go. We're going to confirm all of those leagues. That's a lot of leagues. It's going to be a big database, so we're going to start it up. Selected, blah, 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 blah. Let's go. So yeah, we're going to take FC Cincinnati. They were a big story in U.S. soccer a couple years ago. They really burst onto the scene when they made a run in the U.S. Cup. And, one of their games got on ESPN. which is pretty huge for a lower level team in U.S. soccer. It's almost unheard of for a lower division team. Okay, we're back after all those loading screens, and here we are, Zebu Nation taking over at FC Cincinnati. Take a look real quick at our coach. My profile, 24-year-old American, born in Lansing, Michigan. Sort of, we have some work to do on our coaching. Just have some 10s for abilities here. 13 attacking, defending, fitness are our best stats. We know the United States, but that's it. So, got a lot of work to do. Got a young coach, and we'll see. See if we can improve the coach as we also improve the team. Because one of the reasons to take FC Cincinnati, and one of the reasons I wanted to take them as an expansion club, is because there's a lot of work to do on this club. And let's take a look at what I mean by that. Now, as you can see, they only started playing in 2016. So they don't have a lot of history with this club, but the history they do have is very interesting and very compelling, because just last year they really caught the imagination of U.S. soccer by going on a tremendous run in the U.S. Cup. They were drawing banner crowds, 20,000, 30,000 people to some of their games. They actually beat a couple of MLS clubs in the U.S. Cup. So that really put them on the radar and really kick-started their bid into MLS. And that's what got them this kind of promotion. Obviously, it's not the kind of promotion you think about in other places around the world, but the U.S. does have its own sort of promotion, but it's like a business promotion rather than, necessarily a promotion on the field. But FC Cincinnati, since they are such a young team, they don't quite have the facilities that other MLS clubs have. So if you're looking for a building project, something where you can improve your coach, improve your facilities, get a new stadium, all that kind of stuff, FC Cincinnati might be the place for you. Now, unlike LAFC last year, when I took them over as an expansion club, LAFC was built from the ground up as an MLS club. Cincinnati was built from the ground up as a lower division club, and now they're getting moved up to MLS, so they've got some different challenges. So let's take a look at the club and see what we have here. FC Cincinnati, founded in 2015. Not so good. Take a look at our history here. Club background. Founded in 2015, a professional American club, currently playing in the American Second Division Eastern Conference. They finished 6th in the Eastern Conference last season. That's not a great resume when you talk about getting moved to MLS, but it was their run in the U.S. Cup that really solidified their bid. And, of course, ownership with deep pockets and a fan base that has come out to support them and all these other off-the-field things that maybe earn them the promotion when they wouldn't have gotten such a promotion in, if they played in another country. But anyway, the club play their home games at Nippert Stadium, possess average training facilities, basic youth facilities. Club's training ground is Xavier University Soccer Complex. Club also has fairly basic junior coaching, fairly basic youth recruitment. They are affectionately known as the Orange and Blue. So as you can see, there is a lot of work to do here. Nippert Stadium, that is a college football stadium. That's where the University of Cincinnati play their American football games. So they don't even have their own stadium. Xavier University Training Complex is obviously Xavier University, so they don't even have their own training facilities. That's how, low this club is right now in terms of facilities when you compare them to other facilities in MLS. So they're going to have to build their own stadium, build their own training facilities, all that kind of stuff. So we got a lot of work to do here at FC Cincinnati. We can take a look at Nippert Stadium. Capacity 40,000. I doubt we're gonna fill that. That's a lot. That's a lot of fans to bring to a MLS game. So hopefully we can build a stadium that's more in line with LAFC's stadium, 20,000, 22,000, somewhere around there. The stadium was built in 1924, so this one has been around for a long time. College stadium, not a lot of amenities. So we got a lot of work to do. Field conditions very good, so that's good. But yeah. So anything else we need to look at here? Affiliates. We do have our academy, so that's good. We can take a look at that when we go down the checklist. Let's take a look at our emails, see what we have. Nation takes charge at Cincinnati. Of course, we have all these, meetings and stuff that we go through. The board would like to assure you that they can rely on that you can rely on their full backing, and they're looking forward to working with you. In terms of your contract, deal until 2018, which is the end of the year. So we're going to have to sign a new contract, $461,000 per year. General manager is Luke Sassano. He's responsible for offloading players either permanently or on loan. Okay. Staff members from previous regime have been retained. We'll take a look at them. In order to age transition, Carl Lindner, the club's owner, and your assistant coach, Johan Demet, would like to hold meetings with you. Okay, that's fine. We'll attend the meetings. Welcome to the Orange and Blue. Let's get going. As you can see, they don't really have a real crest here. I mean, it's kind of similar. It doesn't have the orange in it. The FC logo is a shield with a crown on top, so it's got the most basic elements here, but it's definitely not the FC Cincinnati logo. So maybe we need to find a way to load that and get a little bit more representation here. I can't believe they wouldn't have that already. It's not like the logo hasn't been around for a while. But anyway, some philosophies that I'd like to share with you. Let's see. Thanks again for the introduction. Okay, get out of here. Demet, your assistant coach. Yep, sure. Give me. Yep, sure. Yep. Meet the coaching staff. Yep, contracts. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. So we have our club. We know where we're at. We have our board. We'll review the members. Who do we have as members here? The owner, Carl Lindner. That is correct. So unlike LAFC, last year where they sort of had an incorrect list of the board, they've got the board here. At least they've got the owner correct. The general manager is supposed to be Jeff Birding. Is that correct? Is he on the list? He's on the list as the director. And Chris Linder, David Thompson, Scott Farmer, and Steve Hightower. So they've got, fairly accurate list here. That's good. We don't need an extra designated player slot yet, but that shows you a few of the minor improvements they've made with MLS. Is they now have things like this drop downs for league-specific things where you can see just what's available to do in MLS. You don't have to hunt it down as badly as you have in previous seasons. All right, so I don't want to take this introductory video too long, but we're going to run down the checklist real quick and take a look at everything that is on offer. So first of all, the academy. Got an interesting academy going on here. We got some decent players. Patrick Lee, foremost among them, central defender, 6'2", 16 years old, 4.5-star prospect. That's pretty good. Carl Perez, Carlos Duran, Jared Stevenson, pretty good. 3.5-star potential guys. So we got a decent academy, and that is always a good starting spot. Finances, $4.2 million balance. That's pretty good for an expansion club. We got a very low scouting budget for some reason, $27,000. So we're not going to be able to do a heck of a lot of scouting. Transfer budget, $500,000. Payroll, $4.6 million. It's pretty high, but we're already spending $4.5 million. So that's a lot for an expansion club. We'll have to see where all that money is going. Board, we looked at them. We're stable. We don't have anything, no board requests. Let's take a look at the board requests. Facilities, we need to improve those training facilities right away. I would like the training facilities improved. Haven't been with us for long enough. Okay, so we're going to run into that problem, where we're going to have to go through a season or two before we can start improving things, and that's no good. All right, club-wise, we've looked at a lot of this. Primary and secondary uniforms aren't correct here. They're a little dull. I don't think they switch you over to the proper stuff until you actually get to your season where you're entered into MLS. Because the problem with taking this expansion team is that we take over in the 2018 season, and FC Cincinnati doesn't play in MLS until 2019. So we're going to have a whole season of just building the club before we actually get to play any real games that matter. So we're going to have to make some interesting decisions on what to do during this basically year of just preparing. Transfers, I don't know how this happened, but we went and somehow got Fernando Adi from Portland. He's a very good player. 27-year-old Nigerian, valued at $4.2 million. Target man, big, strong guy, 6'4", 17 strength, 17 jumping reach. So this is a very interesting dude to build the team around. You know, he's an established MLS veteran, so we're going to have some good times with Fernando Adi leading the attack. So that is outstanding. Got him for $850,000. He's joining January 1st, 2019. So he's not going to be with the team this season. He's going to be with this team as soon as we start our actual MLS season. Scouting, not much to do here. We can take a look at our scouts next. But for now, our scouting knowledge is a little limited. We got some knowledge in Brazil, USA, Canada, and then a little bit over in Africa. So that's an interesting mixture of teams. I guess maybe a little bit in Europe and a little bit in South America as well. So we'll work on that. Currently, we have no youth package, and senior package is just Division II regular season lower tier package. So that's not good. We're gonna have to increase that. Look at our player search here. I forgot how to increase. Like, they should make it easier and more transparent as to how to change this. Recruitment team, scouting budget, regular package. There we go. Okay. It's just not it's not easy to change that scouting package. So, I think we definitely need to scout MLS. Without a doubt. We'll scout USA. Custom package $102,000. Okay. And then we'll also scout USA Youth. So there we go. That's basically as high as we can go right now. And we're going to need that when we get into MLS, and I'll show you why in a little, probably next video. But anyway, here we go. Competitions. Our only competition for the year is the US Cup. Board expectation is to reach the 4th round. We're going to start in the 2nd round, so we got a long ways to go in this US Cup. That's going to be our main competition for the season. So we'll basically just show you those games this season. Schedule? No schedule. We're playing Houston in a friendly in 19 days. So we gotta fill out our preseason schedule. We gotta fill out the US Cup. We got a lot of stuff to do. Medical center. Nobody's injured at the moment. We got a lot of injury risk, though. Training, the new training stuff. I'm going to be extremely, brutally honest with you. I have no interest in this whatsoever. I know it's the new thing. It's the new hotness, but I'm just going to turn this over to my staff and let them do it until I get comfortable with it and really have any interest in it. Because right now I have no interest in this training. It's too complicated. It's overcomplicated for what I want to do and for what I care about. So I'm just going to leave it to the staff. And speaking of the staff, we currently have a head coach, an assistant coach, fitness, goalkeeping, head of youth. So we need to hire some general coaches. So we'll do what I normally do. We're going to place adverts for the coaching, and there we go. I like to take the little bit more of the realistic approach to it, even though the most realistic thing would be to use your contacts, ask around, who do you think is a good coach, that kind of stuff, and maybe use some personal contacts to hire people rather than just sending out an advertisement. But advertisement is what we got, so that's what we're going to do, and try to find some coaches. Recruitment team needs a lot of work. We have a general manager and a chief scout. I guess we could actually look at our coaches real quick. Coaching team, we got Yoann Demet, 42-year-old Frenchman, earning $146,000 a year. He's got a longer contract than I do. He's going to be here till 2020. He's not very good at all, so we're going to try to replace him for sure. Omar Cummings, he's got some abilities here. 35-year-old Jamaican, head of youth development. He's got some good judging player ability, good discipline, motivating adaptability. He's halfway decent. Jack Stern, 29-year-old Englishman. Discipline, determination, okay at judging. He's supposed to be the goalkeeping coach, I guess. Working with youngsters, he's good at that, but he's very, very average. Austin Berry, 29-year-old American, fitness coach, fitness of 8. Got a contract till 2019, so we're going to have to replace a lot of these guys and improve the coaching staff dramatically when we get to MLS level. Recruitment team, we got a lot of holes to fill here. No chief data analyst, no data analyst, no scouts. We're going to start with placing an advert for scouts, because I don't think we even have data analyst facilities right now, so we'll work on that later. But what we do have is a general manager and a chief scout. General manager is Luke Sassano, Continental A license. Not very good. 29-year-old American. He's got some adaptability and some determination. But other than that, he's pretty bad. We might have to look at getting a new general manager. Pamadou Ka, Norwegian. Interesting name for a Norwegian, but he's our chief scout. 16 adaptability, determination, discipline, pretty good. Very good, actually. Judging player ability and potential is extremely average, though. So for a chief scout, not very impressive. And then, finally, do we even have a medical staff? We do. We have chief doctor and a physio. I guess we don't necessarily need a head physio or sports science yet, since we're not going to be playing many games. But let's see, the chief doctor has no stats, so he's just the chief doctor. He gets, I don't know, he's a doctor, so I guess you don't need to rate him. But our physiotherapist is not very good. He has some adaptability and determination, but other than that, only 8 physiotherapy. We gotta work on that. So we'll put an advert out for a new physio and see if we can get somebody better. All right. So there we go. Staff training team report. Interesting team report here. We haven't even looked at the players yet. So we're going to try to build our idea of what kind of players we have. Overall depth, not a great deal of quality depth outside the first team. There isn't much to speak of in terms of youth prospects. Transfer budget, with just $500K left in the budget, there isn't much room to maneuver on that front. Payroll budget, balance of 0 on the wage budget leaves limited options. Yeah, I guess it does. Lack of quality depth at left back. So we got a lot of left wingers, not a lot of left backs. Okay. So our strengths, Emmanuel Ledesma is one of our 4 good options at right wing. That's good. Ledesma is one of our 4 good options at left wing. So it looks like he's our best player. Ledesma, best of 3 players in the attacking midfield. Okay. One of the best coaching teams in the competition. That's interesting. So they're still comparing us to the lower level. One of the best scouting teams, Pakanate. Very good option at left back. So even though their weakness is depth at left back, we do have one guy at left back who's very good. Richie Ryan represents superb quality in the midfield. That's good. And Ledesma, again, is superb on the right wing. So it looks like Ledesma is our guy. Let's take a look at the new tactics screen. I'm a little bit more interested in this tactics screen than I am in the training. So we'll take a look at this. We'll build a tactic real quick. We'll do the gegenpressing. Why not? I've heard of that. Get forward, press. That's kind of what we did last season with Montreal. So that's fine. We'll choose a formation. 4-1-4-1, 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2 diamond. I think we'll go, since we have the good wingers and stuff, we'll start with a basic 4-2-3-1, gegenpressing. And yeah, that's fine. All right. Go to dynamics. Gonna get to our players in a minute. Match cohesion abysmal. Of course, we haven't really trained anybody. Locker room atmosphere is average, though going down. Leadership support is good. Have a strong influence over a number of players. That's interesting. Top influencers, Dekel Keenan and Richie Ryan. Richie Ryan's our midfield. We'll find out about Dekel Keenan in a minute. Hierarchy. No team leaders, no highly influential players. This happens quite a bit with expansion teams. They don't really know the hierarchy. And, they're worried about moving on once we move up to MLS. So maybe nobody's willing to take the reins. But anyway, we've got a few influential players. Everybody's sort of in the middle. Social groups, core social groups. Fatel Alash, I know this guy. Adi, Al-Badawi. We got some interesting MLS caliber players already. Secondary social group. Players who've been at the club for roughly the same similar time. All right, so these aren't terrible social groups. We got a little too many down here in the others. Especially one of our most highly influential players here, Keenan. So that's interesting. But anyway, let's get to the squad. Let's finally take a look at the squad. Look at the salaries on these guys. Holy cow. Fernando Adi. He's making designated player money. $1.9 million. That's a lot for a team at this level. Yikes. And then Kanate. Why are they blue? Are they on loan or something? They must be on loan. On loan from SPAL. Loan from Portland, permanently joining 1-1. All right. So we got a few loan players. Lang. On loan at San Antonio. 29-year-old Jamaican. Spencer Ritchie. On loan from Vancouver. Weird. So we got a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Some very, very highly paid players. Gonna have to work out what to do with these two guys. Adi, his contract is coming up. I guess we'll see what his contract is. And Kanate, he's got a contract till 2019. So we might be stuck with these two massive salaries for a while. But at least we know they're good players. Adi, we looked at him before, 27-year-old Nigerian. Very good player. Kanate, Swedish. Good crossing and dribbling, marking, tackling. Yeah, he's pretty good for this level. I don't know that he's worth $650,000 good, but he's good enough. Keenan, this is another guy we wanted to look at. 33-year-old Israeli. He's not the kind of guy I like to build a team around. He's too old, too slow, lacks any sort of, agility, acceleration. All that stuff is, I don't like it. But he's got a contract until 2019, so we might have to play one season with this guy in MLS before we get rid of him. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'd like to replace him at central defense. He's too old, too slow. Fatel Alash, 24-year-old. This is more like it. Good physicals. Maybe not quite the jumping reach and strength to be a central defender. He's maybe better at defensive midfielder. He's listed as central midfield. He can play all up and down the midfield, so that's good. Yeah, he's pretty decent. He's an MLS caliber dude. Ledesma, the guy that everybody's talking about, 29-year-old Argentinian. He's pretty good. Left-footed, but he can play on the right-hand side. He's got a lot of flair. Got some decent physicals. Decent technicals. He's just sort of decent all around, which makes him, I guess, a star player at the lower levels. Lang, guy who's out on loan, 29-year-old Jamaican. He's pretty decent as well. He looks pretty comparable to Ledesma. Similar physicals. Not quite as much flair, but similar elsewise? Yeah. Otherwise. Similar mentally, similar technically as well. Maybe a little bit better long throwing. That makes a difference. I don't know. Corbin Bone, 29 years old. This team is old. For an expansion team, this team is really, really old. I don't know if I like this. Valued at $500,000. He's getting $93,000 right now. He's okay. His physicals aren't great. Mentals are good. Technicals are good, I guess. McLaughlin, 24 years old. Oof, not very good. Attacking right mid. Kenny Walker, rotational player. I guess we should probably sort by first team. There's Ledesma, Ryan, Keenan, Al-Badawi, Nazmi Al-Badawi, 26 years old. He's okay. Physically not good. Mentally very good. Very determined. I like that. Very good technically. Good dribbling, corners, free kick taking, long shots. So he's sort of our specialty guy. So that's good. He's a decent player for this level. Forrest Lasso, interesting name. 24 years old. That's a little bit more like it. 6'5", nice jumping reach, nice strength. Technically, he's a little bit lacking. Marking and tackling could be better for 24 years old. It's not really where we want him to be, but he's okay. We looked at Adi. Michael Lahoud, another first-team player, 31 years old. Defender / midfielder, 6 jumping reach. Get out of here. He's going to have to be a midfielder with that. Other than that, he's okay. Mentally, he's just sort of below average for a 31-year-old, honestly. Technically, also, he's got it where it counts, I guess, but not real excited about having him on the team. McLaughlin, 24 years old, attacking mid. We looked at him. A little disappointing. Alash. Richie, on loan from Vancouver, a goalkeeper. He's decent. I don't know that I would, spend any money to keep him, but he's decent for what we need right now. Kanate, we looked at him. Very good, 23-year-old Swede. Corbin Bone, the C-Bone, 29 years old. Good mentals. Adequate technicals, adequate physicals. Not an exciting player. 29 years old. Walker, defensive midfielder. They're 29 years old. This team is just full of 29-year-olds. I don't know if I like that. Blake Smith, we got a lot of updates available. So, yeah, we got some work to do with this team. Emery Welshman, striker, not very good. We got a lot of work to do to get this team up to MLS levels. But luckily, we're going to have a lot of drafts. We're going to have an expansion draft. We're going to have waiver drafts. We're going to have super draft, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be able to get ready for next season and have an infusion of talent without having to go out and spend a lot of money. So that's going to be helpful for us. So there's a little bit of what we have in store for you this season with FC Cincinnati. We're going to go through the offseason. I'm going to come back with a video for each important thing. We're going to take a look at our U.S. Cup run. We're going to take a look at scouting the USA and preparing for drafts and all that stuff. So we're going to keep it a little bit short this time, even though I think this is kind of a long video, probably half an hour. But anyway, We're going to come back for the next episode, and we're going to show you how we get ready for this weird season where we don't really have any games to play. But this is one of the things you have to put up with when you play an expansion club. So until then, until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.